I appreciate the introduction, Vicky. And today I would like to share with you my experience over the last 10 years educating almost 500,000 children in Portugal about obesity as a disease that, like any other disease, needs to be treated and prevented properly. But first, I would like to tell you when was the first time that obesity entered in my life, even when I still didn't know how to name it. It was right in my first school year when one of the boys of my class was frequently called the fatty instead of his name. And it didn't make any sense for me at that time. So I made a point of always calling him Diogo, which was his name. Uh, and for example, he was usually the last to be chosen for the football team until, of course, he gave up. And I became the only one that always invited him to play with me during school breaks. And although nobody told me at the time, I was already knew that Diogo was in need of support and treatment, not judgment, just like my grandmother needed. Because in addition of living with obesity, she also lived for many years with another disease, diabetes, and later, cancer. Fortunately, since 2004, the National Health Service in Portugal has recognized obesity as a chronic disease that everyone at any age can develop, and it's a disease that needs long term strategies for its effective prevention and management. But when I launched Portuguese Association Against Childhood Obesity 10 years ago, the percentage of children who, according to World Health Organization, was still living with this disease in my country was 37.9%. And at the end of last year, Portugal has already managed to reduce this percentage to 29.6%, which means a decrease of 8.3%. And for this result, Portugal was considered by WHO a reference of good practices for the rest of the world, as it is closer to reach the global goal of halting the growth of childhood obesity to 0% increase by 2025. But do you know what is far from reaching zero? Stigma. Even though it is considered a chronic disease in very few countries like Portugal, obesity is still used as a reason for social stigmatization. Every day, in each school, thousands and thousands of Diogos are continuing to suffer from fat shaming instead of being supported in seeking help to live healthier. And I'm not just referring to bullying among children, which, by the way, is growing each year and becoming more strong and more dangerous in other kinds like cyberbullying. I'm also talking about the discrimination that are happening inside schools. When I have seen so many teachers making inappropriate comments in front of the class, asking, for example, a child with obesity to try harder in physical exercises because, according to them, they need more than other children. Or when I go to a school cafeteria and I always find someone from the staff saying to a child with obesity that it's not worth to put salad on the plate because certainly this child doesn't like it, instead of encouraging to try it. So, of course, when I'm there present in these situations or my team, we always take these opportunities to educate adults, no matter they are teachers, school staff, or even parents. But so often, none of us are there, or is anyone that can defend these children from stigma. And stigma has so direct consequences in children's self esteem. And if it's not stopped, it can cause depression and so other mental health problems. And now that you've heard how difficult and upsetting stigma is for children, I am looking to hear more now from Dr. Elgison on speaking with children and parents about their obesity.